Greetings, YouTube. Today is going to be one of those Fridays where my job is to just cover the heck out of so much, and I was in the middle of trying to compile a video I'm still going to make, which is the good, the bad, and the ugly side of the 6-star Nexus crystals from yesterday, because several of you still purchased it with let's say, a wide variety of results, as always. But we have this new kabamboo news dropper of root feedback. New mechanic. Root feedback, new mechanic. Let's get to the root of it. When I think of roots, I think of square roots or really big trees, especially since we just had an ice storm in Oklahoma and a bunch of historic old trees, unfortunately, were literally uprooted. Exciting news, Summoners. We'll be the judge of that. But it's not even Summoners, it's Summoners. Exciting news, Summoners. A new gameplay mechanic is being introduced in this meta event, a new effect type, Root, in all caps. What does it do? When rooted, a champion's movement is locked. You can still perform any action, but you won't move from your location when doing so. So, for example, you can still dodge special attacks with dexterity, parry, and use your own special attacks, unless a global buff says otherwise. You just won't do any lateral movement associated with those actions. When I read that, I think, how the hell is that exciting? It makes me feel like my game is broken and my champion is frozen, and then I realize, oh wait, no, that's intended. That's working as intended. We hope to explore this new effect on further global buffs or even characters' buffs for players to use. So make sure to try them out and let us know what you think. Part of me, because there have been so many issues with frame rates, thinks like this is Kabam's secret way of being like, we're going to make it to where we don't have our servers work as hard enough because our champions will not be moving because they'll be rooted during fights. It's like when your mom's like, I got a big surprise for you. We've got a second vegetable tonight at dinner. How exciting. No dessert for you. Best night ever. Your words and your emotions are not matching. Where do I see it? Each day, on every difficulty, there'll be a global buff that uses root in a slightly different way to give you a feel for it. The difficulty has been tuned around these buffs, so there shouldn't be too much complexity going on around them. Unless you want to take a swing at Legendary, where an extra wrinkle has been added to keep you on your feet, which is ironic because you're supposed to be kept on your feet, and yet you're not supposed to be able to move your feet. That seems a little contradictory to me in terms of its meaning. Where can I share my feedback? Right here in this thread. We look forward to hearing from you all. Cheerio! I actually had food poisoning from Cheerios back in the day, so when I see the word Cheerio, I get a little triggered. Let's see what some people are commenting already. I'm rooting for this not to be terrible. Well, hey, anything that is greeted with a pun is good in my book. Kabam Mike, ha, clever. He's like, oh my gosh, somebody didn't just complain. They made a joke. I can make a comment that doesn't trigger somebody. Thank God. Groot Man, not Root Man. He should rename himself Root Man. A little bit spooked by the fact that you can't dash backwards, but looking forward to the challenge. Wait, so we'd still be able to dex attacks and get the buff, we just wouldn't move, correct? That is correct. Moot for life, again, maybe it should be root for life. Is there an option to keep this on, or is it just a debuff? Also, how would basic attacks work since you can't go forward, but the opponents move back when you get hit? Yeah, I think it's dexing against the wall. That makes sense. We are certainly looking forward to this taking root in the community. How many root puns can you make? Maybe that should be the title of this video. How many root puns can you make? Because, my God, no one's even talked about square roots. When we look back on this in a week, we'll figure out this is the root of our problems. Well, there we go. So many puns! This is like, dang it, I can't think of a pun. Okay, so do we get rooted, or does the opponent get rooted? We get rooted. Maybe I'll root my Groots to the ground, let them absorb some nutrients, and pound some opponents. Now that sounds more like an internet phrase than a pun. I don't fully understand how this mechanic works just yet. Hopefully someone gets to the root of it. Okay, I was like, where's the pun, Grandmaster? I just don't know. This is a bizarre addition to me. No pinning opponents to the wall and chaining heavies, I guess. Well, ETM34, you're just commenting something logical at this point. What a loser. Where's your pun? Total sarcasm, by the way. You make a fair point. I don't know what to think. I think this is one of those things like when when the specs come out with a new champion, I'm so desensitized now to looking at somebody on paper and thinking that's going to be a good defender. That's going to be an OP offensive threat. Until you see them in the game and you see how those yellow numbers are and how long it takes to, say, ramp up a champion, you just don't know. Well, in this way, until I see what this mechanic is in real time, I'm just speculating. It's fascinating. It's different. It's unlike anything we've seen. I think those are all fair statements. But is it going to be fun? Like, am I going to go into this and be like, oh, yes, I'm rooted. I'm going to root on my demise. I don't know. I can't imagine myself doing that. Part of me, like I said, thinks this is Kabam's way of being like, hey, there aren't going to be any frame rate issues if you just can't move. And we'll save some server speed, so it's like a win-win. Either way, what are your thoughts on this new mechanic? Comment below, let me know. I'll be busy making so many different videos today. I don't have a life. It exists on YouTube on Fridays especially, but it's also Crystal Opening Commentary Weekend, so I better jump on some of those too. So much to do, so little time. Happy Friday. Thanks for watching.